Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burning G. All by his bread. Bitch, I'm all about my bread. All by my bread. Bitch, I'm all about my bread. All by my bread. Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burning G. All by his bread. Now bitch, I'm all about my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm all about my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm first green ballin', trying to get my bread long. You know the game gone and my mind been blown. Different decisions that I done made got me fucked up now. Still gon' thug the life I'm living, still gon' hold this shit down. Every day of my life, yeah, nigga chasing trees. And I'm saying niggas should be around there, won't see you off your feet. My mama been doing bad, but I ain't going into that. I done picked that girl up when I caught my first package. I be damn, me and my people hurting for something for a day. That shit happened, the next man ain't getting nothing. Faded the root of evil, and that's my damn best friend. And I put that on my life, ain't nobody gon' fuck with him. You try to jam it, yeah, that ass getting chopped. Trying to serve ain't got no business on my block, now bitch, you're getting chopped. Now either way you try to fuck with my pockets, don't believe that ass getting chopped. Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burning G. All by his bread. Bitch, I'm all about my bread. All by my bread. Bitch, I'm all about my bread. All by my bread. Now what's this gonna be? You know how I played it all. That nigga burning G. All by his bread. Now bitch, I'm all about my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm all about my bread. All by my bread. Now bitch, I'm back in the mix. Those flaky niggas better stand down. Came home, got me some yam, I'm the man now. Niggas, some bitches all from my face, I ain't know who they is. Everybody up from my mix like I'm a hero and shit. Fall back, I'll buy a brick. Right now, I'm on a mission. I'm giving you 2 for 20. Got grams going for 50. Putting that in my pockets, the nigga, you bullshitting. What the fuck you ain't listen? I done told you I got to get it. Nobody depending on me, so it's all mine. I ain't stressing out by myself, that's how it going down. My mama fighting her little dicks and she gon' be alright. Before I ever tweaking and begging, I put something up on the pipe. It's a little fraction of my life, still all in for a lick. Lurking for fatty, looking for niggas to tone mix. Start to lurking if I'm hurting, different side come out. That flip shit, stop the Jacob, Mr. High come out. Gonna be, you know how I played it all. That nigga burning G.
Welcome back to your favorite channel. It's your boy Pelican Bay K9s, giving it to you. We always do, man. Fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. And you know what I'm saying? Big salute to all the pet lovers out there, all the dog lovers across the world. We're going to talk about it today. We got some stuff to talk about. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and hit that like button before you get up out of here. Big shout out and big salute. Big thank you to the brothers and sisters that be down in the chat. Big thank you to everybody that's watching the video. We got some stuff to talk about today. Yeah, the boy say stop crying. I got something for you, stop crying. Hey, I ain't the one crying. I'm just the one giving that news. You know, it seemed like to me you the one crying. But let's get into the dog news, man, because we got some stuff to talk about. You know, we was talking about things that messed the game up. But let me just give you something that hey, we all seen in our face. You know, things that don't belong in the dog game. You know, we sat here month after month, a couple years back. What ruins the dog game is when you got somebody who never been in the dog game. If you want to blame YouTube on something, come on up here, Pro and Game Mag. Pro and Game Mag, come on up here.
He was so far ahead, he just crumbled in the end. Because guess what? They came in there playing. Yeah, you dominated, but the one that you was on, guess what? If he wasn't nothing else, he was game. He was gaming in you. His mouth may not have been as hard as yours.
You see, this is what I told brothers a long time ago. Oh, you think I'm just going, you think I'm just cracking, or like I always say, you think I'm just trying to troll this or troll. Listen, how can you have anybody explaining the dog game, talking about stuff the way Pro and Game Mag talked about in the dog game about other people, and you never experienced nothing with this dog game? Tell me how you do that. Tell me where that go down at. But y'all sat here, you sit here laughing, you sit here want to jump up in the chat, troll this, troll that, say this, say that. But you, like I said, where does folk allow somebody with no dog experience at all, somebody who haven't got their feet dirty at all, to mention brothers and speak about brothers? See, Pro and Game Mag, we need you to come on up here with your open case ass. You see, that's what we talking about. A lot of these brothers want to subscribe to my channel then. You know, I've been on these dudes. They're coming up here on these YouTube channels, and you want to put these brothers up here with open cases up on your platform. I've been talking about that shit. But we ain't even talking about a brother coming up on another brother platform. We talking about Pro and Game Mag, open case. But yeah, you always talking about, you want to pop up out the blue talking about another dog brother or talking about another dog brother. Pro, who sent you is what I'm asking you. But yeah, you quick to go team up with Buck City because you know he got an ulterior motive going on. You ain't want to come up here and talk with with sense. I don't need you to talk with sense. Stay as far as you can away from me. See, you had your sister fooled Pro and Game Mag. She thought nothing couldn't break you. But when you come around some real dog brothers, that shit broke you. You can't get up here with that lying stuff and think you're going to be able to fit in all kind of ways and talking trash and you ain't got no credentials to stand on it. Like I said before, brothers, how in the hell you got a motherfucker with an open case, not no dog fighting case, stealing cars, open case, and you up here mentioning this, talking about these dogs. Pelican Bay, you got some pretty dogs, but this and that. Yeah, like I said, who sent you? Who sent you? What you want me to say? Oh yeah, my dog's pretty and they do this. And then I fall into that bracket with the four things: selling, owning, transporting, and buying. You see, how can you have somebody giving you this effing dog news, effing dog talk, effing pedigrees, anything about a dog when they don't know nothing about a dog? They don't know what the risk is to talking about certain things. You see, every day I get up here and do a show. If I'm not specifically talking about the news, then I gotta make sure I understand and think carefully to what I'm up here talking about. You know, because I know the risks of what I could put somebody else in and what I could put myself in. Because I've been in the dog game. You want to ask me about crime. You want to ask me about the dog game was messing this up, messing up. Listen here, dog. Go on the channels you want to go to and listen to the Bulldog talk you want to do. Listen to while I'm over here doing this thing here. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it ain't for me to try to make you understand. You know, like brothers always say, they either gonna like it or they ain't. One or the other.
Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Dead giveaway.
You know, and like I said, man, we need Pro and Game Mag, you know, to bring your crackhead ass on up here. You know, don't go jump on the hottest man in America channel. That don't really make sense. Or do it make sense when you got an open case? Somebody tell me, if anybody getting any information, you know, who would it be? Pro and Game Mag. Everything a brother says about a dog fascinates him, right? Y'all brothers tell all y'all illegal activities to this motherfucker. You don't think he got enough to get out of the jail for that stolen car charge you got? You don't think Pro and Game Mag got enough info from this dog game to get out of that stolen car charge you got? Oh, somebody talk to me, man. You know, what you want to talk about? Like I said, you know, if you need to talk about a specific dog right about now, it's a channel for it. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of them things up here. It's a channel for it. Don't come over here worrying me about talking about the same old bullshit I done talked about for 3 damn years. Don't do it. You know I ain't trying to fit in with you. You don't know that. You know I don't give a damn what you think. You know I don't give a damn what you say or how you feel or any of that type of stuff. But yet, a lot of people feel it's necessary to get up under with the bullshit. But like I said before, you know, I appreciate all the comments, whether they're good or bad. I ain't gonna erase none of them. You know, drop what you do what you do. And see, I'm gonna stop calling you pro. Your name Douglas Mac Brown. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the pro in game mag. You ain't pro in a shit besides that crack pipe. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to these dogs, y'all should have never. We all did it. We all did it. You know what I'm saying? We all did it, but we learn from our mistakes. And when it comes to the YouTube channels, if we want to blame anything for anything, blame everybody for allowing somebody with no dog credentials at all, period, to mention so many brothers who done put work in this dog game. When I say put work in, I mean great work, doing the right things with these dogs. You know, Douglas Brown is the only one, pro and game mag, whatever you want to call him, is the only one getting up on these channels and trying to entice brothers to talk about modern day illegal activities. But y'all be forgetting about stuff. Y'all be overlooking stuff. And y'all, like I always say, you want to pick who you want to pick. Everything ain't funny when it come to the dog shit. When I step into the dog game and talk about these dogs, I don't find shit funny. So you want to know what's wrong with the dog game? You got Buck City Kennels, no dog credentials, no dog nothing. Make the dog game look bad. You got Pro and Game Mag, no dog credentials. Steady calling dog brothers' names out. Steady talking about this, talking about that. Oh, Glenn this, Glenn that, Glenn this. Man, listen here, man. Y'all better pay attention. I keep telling y'all, brothers. You know? Y'all so gassed up off that fake ass bullshit, fake talk that is so easy for somebody to just fake it right on past you. Just walk right on past you, faking like a motherfucker. You know? And at the end of the day, you know, modern day time, it ain't nobody supposed to be doing none of that stuff, right? And we all agree to that. But I'll be damned if brothers acting like they didn't see somebody with no credentials, somebody who's in the streets, somebody who is constantly catching charges, screaming brother's name in the dog game. Oh, this and oh, that and oh, this. Like I said, I'm just here to give you that damn news. What reason I got to cry to give you the news? I done told you you can't tease stupid. I just told you that. So what purpose do I got to cry about putting the news up? You know, since this news been coming up, the only ones been crying been the ones that want to keep it on the under. You want to hide it. Them the only ones been crying, man. And like I said, don't talk to me about a dog game when you got a crackhead ass junkie that don't know nothing about the dogs and y'all over here trying to respect this and respect that and taking his word and running with it and for jokes and kicks and all kind of shit on real dog brothers. And like I said, I fell into that trap too. Because you want to see a brother do right. But at the end of the day, man, you gotta let folk be where they gonna be at. You gotta let folk fall where they gonna fall at. They try to pull you down with them, you know. See, I was never in the streets doing the smoking. I was doing the selling. Pro, you was doing the smoking. So we'll never have nothing in common. On the Bulldogs, coming up in life, no none of that shit. Only thing we got in common is both of us black. You'll never understand what it takes to be a real dog man. Living that life of a dog man. Hey, brother, you got your dog talk yet? That dog talk that you wanted, did you get it yet? Because if you haven't and you still here, I must be saying something you like. But hey, let's move on to a little bit of this dog talk, man. Because a good friend of mine was telling me, let's compare Zebo and Mayday. And this is a older fella that knows these dogs. He said, pound for pound, and this is his opinion. Pound for pound, he said Mayday couldn't compare to Zebo. He said Zebo was a dog that would get the job done in a short amount of time. His mouth was a hell of a lot harder than Mayday's mouth. They just said pound for pound, Zebo is more bulldog than Mayday. Now, I can't argue with that, especially with brothers who've been around these dogs, But what I will ask is, and this is to any great dog that we want to compare to each other, is it fair to compare? Is it fair to say this dog is better or this dog is better when the dogs are two different weights? If you got a dog that's 35 and he was considered the best of his time, and then you got a dog that's in his catch weight in his 50s and he was considered the best of his time, we can't say the catch weight dog is the better dog because he was damn near 20 pounds heavier than the other dog, and if you put them on each other, the catch weight dog gonna win. You gotta leave everybody in their own little bracket. If the 35 pounder is the fastest dog on the mill or the fastest dog, the dog who could jump the highest, for his weight, then he should be considered just as good as the other one. I think it's kind of unfair to compare two great dogs and they're not in the same weight limit. But if you compare their breeding production, you can, because you can do that. Breeding has nothing to do with weight or size or anything. Smaller dog can always outproduce the bigger dog. But when you compare actual performance for the older dogs, it's kind of unfair to put the big dogs with the smaller dogs. And we all do it. We do it all the time because we can call out 10 dogs, and we'll if Mayday in that bunch, we'll have Mayday in the high top 3, and that's just because he was so big. It's a lot of dogs that we heard stories about from the 80s, from the 70s, from the early 90s, mid 90s. A lot of dogs that we heard that they had more talent. They was a more smarter bulldog, just a better bulldog all the way around. But I told you before, it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. The advertisement, the way Victor promoted Mayday, the way people reached out to get some of Mayday, and like I said, Mayday was in the era where it was beginning to be a social media, the web was beginning to roll out and things like that. So it was a whole lot easier for the brothers to get hold to the best dogs in that era. Or what would be considered the best dogs for these several years, But like Jeep and Mayday, who could say? I believe Jeep was better than Mayday. I believe Jeep was better than Mayday on both ends, on the production wise and on performance wise. Let's just say it like this: back in them days, let's just say you go back to when 1980 something, and let's say you're gonna put 50,000 on Jeep or you're gonna put 50,000 on Mayday. Both of them going against somebody in their own competition, their own weight. Jeep with his size, Mayday with his size. Who would you have your confidence on? When it comes to Jeep and Mayday. Would you toss that 50 out there on Jeep? Would you toss that 50 on Mayday? It probably go both ways for the dog brothers in the community. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's really fair to compare two dogs from two different weights. Both great dogs though, and put one dog down, and put the other dog up. Now, let me ask my brothers and sisters in the chat and that's watching this video this. What makes tattooing a dog illegal? Not necessarily illegal, but what makes it, or what makes authorities say tattooing a dog is a dog fighting thing? Tattooing a dog is no different than tattooing your cows. Only thing different, you may use something different to tattoo a cow. You probably a brand a cow. Brothers don't gotta brand a dog. You can tattoo the dog. And it's not no animal abuse or none of that type of stuff. At least in my book, I don't think it's animal abuse. A tattoo can be anything. A tattoo can be just anything that that represents your dog that somebody else won't know. But it seems like whenever brothers get their dog seized and they have tattoos on them, it always get brought up as a dog fighting thing. Brothers that fight dogs do this, and it's just getting ridiculous when you start putting everything on fighting dogs. Every single thing a pit bull has around it. Oh, this for fighting. Oh, this for fighting. Oh, man, that shit is ridiculous, man. It ain't that much damn fighting in the world. It's not that much fighting in the world, man. Now, some brothers do the little brandy or whatever. And I mean, everybody gonna have their own opinions on that, as far as is it animal abuse or not. Some people brand it themselves. What can you say about that? A brother who stick the brand on his arm and then turn around and brand his dog. I mean, what can you really say about it? But no, I'm just asking a question. I'm not trying to say which way is the right way to go. Just asking the question. What makes tattooing your dog a dog fighting thing? Cow tags. When it comes to fleas, ticks, and all this type of stuff, a lot of brothers don't really mention cow tags. A lot of brothers use cow tags though. But a lot of people don't really mention it. But what I'm here to ask, like always, is do they really work for dogs? We know they work for cows. And this the thing. When you get the cow tag, some brothers don't know what I'm talking about, or don't know how to use it. The cow tag, you want to cut it in strips. You don't want to put that whole cow tag for that bull on that dog because it's too heavy for him. Not the actual weight of the tag, but the tag is for, a couple ton bull. So you got a 50-pound dog, you only need a little strip of that, and then you put it on his dog collar. You make it where it stick to his dog collar, and I mean, it can't hurt you. Far as if you don't put too much of, it's not no powder or anything, it's just a piece of plastic. But it's supposed to repel or, kill the fleas, mosquitoes, the ticks, and just keep them off your dog. But if anybody in the chat or anybody have any experience, whether they did or didn't work for them, drop down in the comments. It's always a brother out there that may be listening to what we be talking about, that they got a pocket full of money that's saying, oh, I'm about to go buy something right now. So if you had your experience with the cow tags, just drop down in the comments, man. Did it work for you? Did it not work for you? Is it just a mind thing when it comes to the dogs? Is it not formulated for the dogs? Does it work great for the dogs? Just drop down in the comments, man. Let a brother know when it comes to them cow tags. Now, I do want to speak on this. Several videos back, I was speaking about, when we was talking about the gameness laying dormant. Now, I did a little more research, and I meant to speak about this back then, but started doing other things and got off track with it. One thing I said wrong, when it comes to gameness and like say a deer dog willingness to go chase that deer for 5 miles, that's different. Gameness is the willingness to fight something. Whether it's, regardless of what it is, it's to fight through something or your ability to last in a particular fight. It don't necessarily have to be you fighting physical or the dog fighting physical, but he has to be fighting to achieve something. Now, when it comes to the deer dogs and the coon dogs, that's considered prey drive. It's not considered gameness, and that's what my research had told me. When they chasing the dogs or when they chasing the raccoon or the rabbits, that's all considered prey drive. Any kind of gameness is coming from fighting. And like I said, I'm clearing that up. It don't have to mean, at least if it means that to them, it don't mean that to me. Fighting through something. Common sense tell you don't have to be fighting a dog. Anything that can make you quit, anything that can make you turn your back and walk the other way, like I said before, you can be trying to get that certain position in that job, and they just don't want to give it to you. They just don't want to give it to you. You got to fight. You don't give up. See, that ain't prey drive. That's gameness, and that's a human being. You see, that's why I had to use that example, because they'll try to make it seem like gameness is only with fighting your dog. So when we start talking about something being game, it don't mean you're doing something illegal. It just means whatever we have, it will fight through the process. Whatever process is in, my brothers and sisters. Yes, sir, man. Now, I seen a brother ask a good question on Facebook. Do you think these feed stores take us seriously when it comes to the shots? Do you think they take our dogs as serious as we do? Do you think they sell bad shots? Do you think sometimes maybe these shots sit up on the counter for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes? They get hot, and then they cool them back off again. You can't keep thawing out, letting it get cool, letting it get warm, letting it get cool. It don't take so long before it get bad. But see, the shot won't hurt you. It just won't work. How many of us get 8-way shots and then we don't even know if they work or not? Over 80-some% of us, none of us know if them shits work unless we go into the vet. Like with me, I had ordered some 8-ways from Animal Revival, and they give you the whole case for $25. I had used maybe 15, 16 of them on a couple litters. And what happened, I ended up having them in the fridge, but I had them probably about 6, 7 months, maybe a little longer than that. And I was scared to use them. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of scared to use them. Even though I know I had them in the fridge, it was a mind thing, like saying like, okay, I had these for this long. And one thing about it, we know when it comes to them shots, we dealing with parvo. I'm good if it don't work. But my thing is, if I make it bad, or if it turned bad, or if I'm getting a bad shot from the store, I'm good if it don't work. But if it make my dog sick, that's where we got the problem at, or that's where I got the problem at. And that's the only thing I be scared of. I'm not scared of it not working because we can always go get another one. I'm scared of it getting my dog sick. And like I said before, I've shot my dog up before and gave him parvo with the 8-way shot because I did it wrong. I only shot the live side up, which was the liquid side, and I didn't mix him up before I shot the dog. I just pulled it out, wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I think I was talking to somebody or something, and then I went and shot the dog with the shot without mixing it. The dog died within a couple days. And I knew exactly what was wrong. But my thing is, do these feed stores take our shots and our dogs and as serious as we do? My opinion is no. My opinion is they don't have the dog at home. They just coming to work. They know they supposed to stay cold, but when it come down, if the shots left on the counter, they're not gonna throw that whole rack of shots away. They're gonna take them shots, they're gonna put them back in the refrigerator and keep business going. You know, I don't think it's nobody in that store outside of the manager, and then she would probably have to make another call, you know, especially somewhere like the tractor store. You know, they'll have to make another call before they throw away them 8-way shots. That's too much money, especially when you're charging $20-something a piece, and then you got a rack of 25 in there, or a little less because people been using them. So, you know, I was just asking that, man, because I seen a brother ask that. Like I said, that's a good question. Do the feed stores take our dogs as seriously as we do? You know, what makes tattoos bad for dogs? You know, when it comes to finding a stolen dog, how can you find a stolen dog? There's no GPS you can put on a dog. All the GPSs come in collars, which can be taken off when the dog gets stolen. You know, you can't get a chip with a GPS. Like, we invent everything for these dogs, but nobody has yet to invent a chip. And the thing about a chip is it has to be on service. And that's why it haven't been created yet, because it has to be a service for that chip to actually be working with the GPS. You know, same way your phone is or anything else. You know, you got to connect to something. So, I mean, you don't got a chip. So how can you identify your dog if both our dogs look exactly the same, and I know that's my dog, you know, and you got it saying it's yours? How can I identify mine if you won't let me? Or I can't have some type of mark on them. And like I said, I'm not saying that the mark is wrong or the mark is right, but I know for a fact you don't have to. The brand, we're not talking about the brand, because the brand, we sticking hot metal to the dog. We talk about a little tattoo to where he's got a little mark on him somewhere or another that you know that's your dog. What makes that so bad is what I'm saying. You know, and what y'all think about the Mayday Zebo comparison? Big thank you, brother out there. You know, big thank you. Mayday Zebo, what y'all think? You know, who would you rather have the puppies off of in his prime? Mayday or Zebo? Don't think about what we got out here now. Don't think about we don't got no Zebo dogs out here right now. So, I'd rather have a Mayday dog back then. Think about it. Zebo in his prime, Mayday in his prime. You can make as many Zebo dogs out here as you want to once you get your offspring and start doing your breeding. You got to look at it like that. Would you rather have one directly off the Z-Man, or what some consider one of the greatest dogs of all time? Mayday. And like I said, man, you know, the dog game was in shambles since you had a crackhead from the streets, a crackhead that never had no bulldogs, a crackhead that don't know nothing about these bulldogs, is up here giving these brothers this wrong information and screaming and talking about other dog brothers. Open cases. Open case. But like I said, I'm still waiting on Pro. You come up here and let's talk about it. But like I always say, man, y'all have a great Sunday. I ain't gonna hold y'all here too long. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay legal. And I'm out.
The Pitbull Encyclopedia is the ultimate guide for anyone who loves, owns, or wants to learn more about one of the world's most misunderstood dog breeds. Packed with expert insights, breed history, training tips, health advice, and heartwarming stories, this comprehensive book breaks down the myths and highlights the true nature of pit bulls: loyal, intelligent, and loving companions. Whether you're a first-time owner, a seasoned pit bull enthusiast, or an advocate for the breed, the Pitbull Encyclopedia is your go-to resource for understanding and celebrating these incredible dogs.